everybody, Intervision07 here, back with another video. I'm recording this on basically Labor Day weekend. It's getting pretty late now, but you know, I can't go to sleep, so I figured I'd do one more before I decide to go. So this one's going to be the next episode in our adventures video, where we're saving Jadespark jungle. Basically in the previous one, we did the quest for Mountain Shaper, where basically we Halloween had some vision, so she set out. She found this clan of the Stoutards. They basically wanted to go on an epic quest just to prove, I don't know, they're people. They're big burly people. You kind of see there in the little art for it. Basically the Mountain Shaper was found, but some greedy scrat ended up stealing it. So we found the scrat. He died. Well, we got it from him. And then a dragon showed up with the Witch King, and then basically the last part of that little endeavor was dealing with the Lich Queen and her dragon. And yeah, so basically all that happens. And now we're saving Jadespark jungle. So basically the first 3 chapters in this one too. So basically High Inquisitor Adrena and her rogue militant order, the Burning Fist, are carving a path of death and destruction throughout the jungle home of the Horu, seemingly searching for something. Defend the jungle and find out what they're looking for. So yeah, we're going to start this. We're going to start with chapter 1 because, you know, 1, 2, 3, that's how things work. We've got 8 encounters, so our first one's stop the invasion. Adrena and her order of the Burning Fist are assaulting and burning their way through the jungle, leaving innocents dead in their wake. Do what you can to harass the army and keep them from the Horu villagers, but be wary as the forest itself is a dangerous place. So basically the Burning Fist is kind of like a branch of the Empyreans that can be kind of looked at as evil. Alright, so we've got a couple masters here. So we've got Ting Ting Tung, or basically it's like heroes of the Haru. The Haru are kind of like monkey people basically. There's like Haru, and then there's Shao Haru, or like your, you know, adult versions, like this is Battle Monkey. Oops. And then the younger ones, just little, like their kids. So that's kind of like the Haru. That's kind of what they're based on. They kind of got some cool stuff. They like growth bird mushrooms, kind of Zenji stuff. We got Milloween. She's back again. We've already played her before, so I don't really want to play her again because their gameplay would be similar. Although she's got her own story why she's here and stuff. Basically, it's like knowing her sister never consort with demons. She's here trying to figure out what's going on with the burning. So we've got Arcurely Unbroken. So this is kind of some Slither turn, or like Slither deck here. Slither and some Scrats, mostly Scrats for some reason. But basically, he's like he near the jungle. He's like he's a leader of a village of like free slaves from the Slither people and stuff. We've got Noria again. She's a demon. So she's got like a weird story. Basically, she wasn't a demon, and then she became possessed, became a demon, but then her soul was returned back to her body and freed again. So now she's like a demon with the mind of someone who's not trying to kill shit and, you know, trying to do good. So she's kind of just like a weird. She's in a really weird spot story-wise. We've got Keyleth Dawnhammer. So basically this guy is here, he suspects something's up with Adrena and her, like, why the fuck are they out here killing shit and, you know, burning the jungle. So basically he's here with his brothers and sisters of light to be like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, we got some, you know, Empyrean stuff. And then we've got Gothic again. He's kind of a fun master and he like switches between worlds and stuff, but we'll do Keyleth Dawnhammer. He's got kind of a cool stuff, and I haven't beat this chapter with him yet. And each one will do a different guy or girl master. Alright, so basically Keyleth Dawnhammer here. He's Brother of Light himself, so he's actually got a solid melee attack. He does high damage. So his level 1 here, Inner Fire. Whenever a friendly minion gains a buff, set Holy Fire ground, and Holy Fire is like kind of a burning fist like thing was introduced with that with Empyrean. So basically, Holy Fire, the ground and the radius is lit up, and then it does damage to enemies and healing to allies. So it does 20 damage and 20 healing every second for 5 seconds. Holy Fire is a pretty strong AoE buff, or like effect. And just basically you want to try to go left for like buff. So basically like whenever a friendly ground minion gets a buff set Holy Fire, so this includes like Rage, Spirit, Giant Growth. So like when I look at my deck here, that starts out, so these the Empyrean Army, these guys get Rage. So the level 1's actually really good with these Lost Legionaries. Well, when I get Empyrean Army, because I don't have Empyrean Army and I've only got 2 Empyrean units. So like super early, the Inner Fire is kind of sad because I have no buffs like at all. Caber Toster works with the Frost Feathers and Chain Lightning is generally okay, and I've got some Empyrean units, but I don't have any way to buff anything. But once I get Empyrean Army, these will become a lot better with the Aghanim Fire will become really strong. And then this one is whenever you play a 6-cost minion card, cast Sunburn on it. The friendly minion, okay. Whenever you cast a 6+ mana minion card, cast Sunburn on the friendly minion that's furthest away. So basically if I have a friendly minion really far away and I cast a 6-cost mana 1, Sunburn comes down, and Sunburn applies Rage and does damage, but then the Rage triggers this, so you get some kind of crazy like AoE chain once you hit level 2. Like these two synergize really nicely to each other. And I've got one 6-cost card, so I've got like a little bit of synergy with that. And then his level 4 is kind of alright. It just summons an army, strength in numbers. So call on the mighty Empyrean Army, summon random crossbow dudes, spirit throwers, and legionaries equal to the amount of cards in your deck. So like early levels, it's not good, but you want to get a big deck, and your strength in numbers will become better. It's like you just kind of get a free bush, and it's nothing strong, but these two buffs are really good. So he's kind of like a master, likes playing dudes and buffing them. So now we can get an affinity card. So I've played them enough to where I got everything unlocked. So Brothers of Light that costs 6 is really strong because they're normally 10, and you know it's thematic with him. Bannerman's actually something that's really strong with this too, because Bannerman applies a buff and the Inner Fire goes off, so that's actually absurdly strong. And then Raging Reinforcements, you just summon dudes with Rage, and you know if you summon 4 crossbow dudes with Rage, you'll get 4 Inner Fire Holy Grounds in the effect. So that's also kind of something that you got to keep in mind. So like any of these, like even though this one's the biggest mana discount, Bannerman is probably the strongest one here just because of what he does. Did you play him and he gives shield to 5 nearby friendly minions? Usually himself plus a couple, but sometimes he cannot give himself shield. And he's got like kind of mediocre stats for what he costs. He's only got 150 health and doesn't do a lot of damage. But you know, he's kind of like a spell. You play him for his play effect for the most part. Then you get kind of a mini melee distraction guy. I'm gonna go with Brothers of Light because you know I want to, you know, Empyrean. They're like the iconic Empyrean. So we got angry Jade Flingers, a bunch of naughty Maruhau have appeared. They're angry that you trampled their favorite flower, and you better watch out. So basically the guys we came to try to save were the Empyreans. We're not here to fight these guys, but they're like, hey, fuck you, we're gonna kill you anyways. So we get to fight them first, you know, beat some monkeys, some senseless monkeys. So his auto attack's pretty weak because the Jade Flinger doesn't do a lot of damage. So he's got this Green Fingers, plants a growth burst room in your area every 10 seconds. And then whenever you cast a spell, turn a growth burst room into a show how minion. So that's interesting. So he plants mushrooms, and then if he plays a spell where there's a mushroom out, it turns into a solid like melee monkey. But if the growth or the giant growth is pretty, yeah. So their show how's 140 health or 420 health and does a DPS of 41. It does like 75 damage a swing or something. So it's just a solid, like stronger than warrior melee unit, but not by a lot. And then the growth burst rooms give giant growth, which only Zenchi minions can take it, and basically it gives plus 25 attack damage and 25% health, so it's a really strong buff. And then the second level is Trespassers. Whenever 5 or more enemy minions are in Angry Jade Flinger's arena, cast Shen Shock Rock on the closest one. So basically Shen Shock Rock, cast Shock Rock at a random enemy equal to the amount of growth burst rooms that was planted. So I'm not really sure if it's just one Shock Rock or something, but basically you wonder him, it gives him kind of something to help fight back a little bit. I don't know how much that's going to make a difference, but... And then we've got Called the Steward, summon drawn Keeper of Jadespark by your Master Tower. So basically he gets to summon a free 10 mana unit. That's pretty scary. Part of Jahan's values, he's got kind of like a play effect that gives you a powerful card in your deck. So he might only be worth like 9 mana without that little extra tidbit. but he's still, you know, he costs 10, so he's still scary. So their level 3 is kind of scary, but they're going to die before them. So if you heard there, you heard some monkey noises. You're going to be hearing that a lot, because we're in the jungle with monkeys. I'm trying to keep them alive, but, you know, for whatever reason, this one's like... Okay, so that's Shoharu there. Just solid melee fire. He, you know, he kind of pretty good at that legionary. This legionary should do okay against the monkeys. Yeah, he just killed all that. Not a big deal. You can see here my master he does a lot of damage. That hammer hurts. Another one. These brothers of lights are no, you know, they're big boys. They're gonna poop. He's gonna poop over that monkey. And he hits once. He's showing that monkey the boss, and basically he only killed like a third of him, and you know the monkey did a lot of work. So that was that Shen shock rock there. So I'm just gonna do this. Apply a little bit of pressure with these brothers of lights. Really weird we have a random caber tosser in our deck. These brothers of lights are just... He doesn't do much damage, and guys with their big maces are just gonna poop all over him. At your early levels, you can cycle back to your cards or back to your deck and like 6 cards. There you go. Fortunately, we killed some monkeys that were... Probably didn't deserve it, but oh well. They shouldn't have attacked us, I guess. Alright, so we get some relics here. So crystal clear. Each time you level up, all cards cost 3. So it's bad with crossbow dudes. It doesn't matter with Lost Legionaries. Doesn't matter with Frost Fighter. It gives you 1 mana with Chain Lightning something. Let's go with Caber Tosser and Brothers of Light. Well, that's something. You can consider that. Copycat. Whenever you cast this spell, whenever the enemy casts a 1. So yeah, it just gives you spells back in your deck. So this one's okay. And whenever you play a 5+ mana minion, give 3 friendly minion spirits. So this is really good because this applies buffs, and I want buffs for Inner Fire. So basically, whenever I play Caber Tosser, I will give spirits to 3 random things, and whenever spirit lands near something, if I have level 1, I'll get this Inner Fire. So healing spirits is really good with Keyleth here. I've got cards. So I got Jungle Growth. So this, I don't have the synergy to make this work. This guy is generically okay, but this is just bad because I don't have any synergy for it. In the mountains, so I got another Frost Feather, which is alright with Caber Tosser, and then in the mountains is where Mountain Shaper is a strong, like, defensive, like, comeback spell. And then we have 6s. So Dragon Whelp, it's a fireball, but it summons a Dragon Whelp. It also summons, if I played a 5 mana minion or more, if the last card you played was a minion that costs 5 or more. So yeah, Dragon Ball's not bad. So it's Fireball, but you summon a Dragon Whelp if you meet this little minor stipulation. If you had to play before you played this, you had to play a minion that costs 5 or more. So basically, in order to get the Dragon Whelp out of this, I had to play like Caber Tosser first, then play this. So you're kind of forced when to play it. But it is good because you get 7 mana here, because Fireball costs 4 and Dragon Whelp costs 3, and you get a 1 mana discount. And combining these two is kind of nice because you can spawn this Dragon Whelp on your opponent's like Master Tower or something, and get the Dragon Whelp will spawn there and deal some nice damage. That's something. And then Zealots of the Burning Fist, more Imperium guards, but these are pretty strong. They're 2 warriors, but they do 100 damage a swing instead of 70. And they also have this effect where they burn 10% of max health, so every time they attack, they hit themselves for 40. And then they also have this thing, whenever one of them's left, so one dies, the other one's alive, the last Zealot gets Raging Frenzy, so basically she becomes a super damage dealer until she dies. But yeah, these are damage dealing units that have some solid health between both of them. If there's one left, like a lot of times they'll make it to the Master Tower and just do disgusting damage. But I like Zealots of the Burning Fist. I think they're pretty solid. So I'll probably do 6s here. That's alright. So we got Burning Fist Legionaries. So these are the guys where you come here and we're like, what the fuck you doing? You come upon a forward regiment of Zealot Legionaries about to assault a small Haru village. They must be stopped. So you know how we were just saving these monkeys? Oh, we just killed them and now we found more guys trying to kill them. But we're gonna stop them this time. No honorable Empyreans would plan to commit such devastation. What has become of Adrana's followers? So basically, she's like a cult of the Empyreans. Those Legionaries, I'm pretty sure so whenever I take bridges, they poop out Legionaries, but that's not real scary. So I'll just fight some Empyrean stuff. So that's like another Empyrean Army Squire buff is. You see, you look at me versus him, he's like, I don't think he's ready to take him on in 1v1. I mean, definitely not. That's some crossbow dudes. I don't have Empyrean army yet. I know we're getting there. So I can just play Zealots here. Actually, I'll also play them. Okay. Now that I played that Sacred Cost more, I got that. Zealots are doing it right there. Like, this Zealot will be pretty good. But once she dies there, so this is super damage. And unfortunately she killed herself, but you know, that's how. So this healing sphere is a pretty strong relic. After this one. Chain lightning. It's not really worth it. My guys are just beefy. I'll play Zealots here and we'll push together. Axeman's just got so much health. Yeah, see there? There's that holy fire where that spear is. Now my opponent's having a ball. Dragon Ball is nice here. Can do a little bit of damage, and this Dragon Ball should do some solid damage. Finish him off.
We have a winner!
Well, that's kind of an interesting thing to know. Once one of the Zealots dies, the other Zealot got Rage and Frenzy, and because she got a Rage, she actually activated that Holy Fire. That's something I didn't think about. So we got Campfire, so I really don't need Call to Ranks yet. I mean, if I was going to do it, I'd probably get rid of the Frost Feathers and Caber Tosser and train the troops. It would be pretty good on like Brothers of Light and Zealots. It's not bad in general, just whatever comes up. But I always like Treasure, so I'll stick for Treasure. So this one's kind of the not as great ones, but no Treasure is bad. They're all powerful cards for what they call. So I've kind of got things that can do, you know, like these Brothers of Lights will do really good against other big guys. They're not bad. Zealots will do okay. Caber Tosser, I've got some flying. I don't feel like big guys are super much of a problem, so I don't know about Curse Fireball. Trick Swaps, just, you know, it is what it is. It's alright. I like Book of the Dead because it's versatile, because it can do multiple things. So I'm gonna take Book of the Dead. It's just like a versatile thing, because I don't feel like I had a big enough weakness, especially with Keyleth, because his auto attack's actually strong. So, you know, if something big comes up and starts causing me a big problem, I can rely on Keyleth more to deal with it than like certain masters that just do real low damage. So we've got 6s again. So we've got Rock Rival. So basically it's a blue golem that's one cheaper and has a special keyword taunt. So it's real strong, but the first time you play it, your opponent gets a 5 mana living statue and they get taste. So they basically get a free 6 mana thing to come back and counter it. So the first time you play it, it's like, it almost doesn't do it, you know, it's kind of bad. But then after that, it becomes really efficient. You're kind of like saving, you know, it's like you save one, you're saving a mana and you get a special thing that's worth like maybe half a mana. Like taunts maybe like worth half a mana or something. That's kind of something to keep. Like Rock Rivals is a fun card. And then we've got Wolf Among Sheep. This is a curse. This isn't an Empyrean card even though it's an Empyrean unit, so that's something important to note. And then I summon 4 Legionaries and one of them gains blocking trophies. So basically one of these will turn to Werewolf, and since it's on Legionaries, Legionaries are really likely to hit half health and then turn into the Werewolf, so that's kind of a thing to note with that. So paying the 1 extra mana to give something Lycanthropy, because there's a unit or minion that's just 4 Legionaries for 5, so you're paying 1 extra mana for that Lycanthropy is really usually worth it most of the time. You just get some solid melee dudes that are pretty good to split, not splish. We have Rage here, so that's kind of nice. We like when we buff stuff, so these guys have Rage, so they'll automatically will proc the Underfire, and then they're nice when they, you know, you're behind or your opponent has both bridges. You can play that and get a little bit of, you know, an extra Spirit Thrower with range. And then Empowered Soul Stealer is nice with Rage, and he's got Cull Slitherbound, which I don't have anything for that. But the starts with 2 souls, and then if a friendly minion has Rage, you gain 1 more, and basically the souls increases his attack speed, so he does really high damage on a platform. Or platform man, basically. But with 4 rages, his attack speed's really fast, and his attack speed can scale up to 10, and when he just does absurdly high damage for flying. Then we've got weenies, or just kind of cheap units. So we've got swarmers here. Yeah, I've talked about these guys multiple times. Just kind of like Scrats, but they actually deal pretty high damage for swarm units. And then we've got Slitherbound. So Slitherbounds, you get one with a spear and one with a little blow dart. So like the Lancer does 10 damage and applies poison for 3 seconds. So basically the poison does, it will do, so every time he stabs something, he increases the poison duration by 3 seconds, or basically over the course of, after he's done with his attack, it will do up to 60 damage because it does 10 damage every half a second. So it's 20 damage every second. That's kind of nice. He's got 35 health and moves pretty slow. There's the thing about stun lancers, or Slitherbound lancers, it's usually not, but it's usually the worst because usually the darter's better because it's having a range attack, so he'll actually sit behind things and shoot the poison. But yeah, you get one of each, so it's just whatever. You know, not every Slitherbound was created equally. Because he's only melee where this can hit air, and that's a big deal. Because basically the only difference is the one with the dart does 5 damage or does half the damage, so you get double the actual base damage with the little lance, but the point of it's the poison. All the damage comes from the poison, not the lancer anyways. So you know, for what you're getting in 5 less damage every attack, you're getting 6 range and can attack flying, which is usually super worth it. These guys are good to play against behind a tank because they'll actually stack some pretty high damage between. They can stack poison up pretty high and that can do a lot of damage, so that's kind of nice. And then you know, like with any cheap unit, you can play them and take a bridge, but they're like good support, like a cheap support unit that can do some solid damage. So that's those, but I'm gonna take 6s again because I want big units. You could take these, but I really want to make Healing Spirits work good, and Healing Spirits has has enough targets to hit everything with Wolf Among Sheep, and Rock Rivals is not bad. Now I might want to pick up some like cheaper ranged units that can support all my big dudes. Alright, so we got Burning Fist Crossbowmen, so we're fighting more of our own brethren. Destroy them in the name of the light. It says Burning Fist Crossbowmen. So basically, he's the one that summons a bunch of crossbow dudes when he levels up, and then he gives them stealth. He's, crossbow guy, so he's not going to have a really strong attack. Shouldn't be anything too scary. Again, you look at Keyleth and you look at him, and you think one bash with that hammer will make that crossbow dude sad. And it will. So this is kind of the thing with Brothers of the Burning Light costing 6 is just so insane, because I can play it now, and these guys are really strong. And they even get Spirit, so they get a little bit of extra. And you see, like, the Warrior's a solid unit, they're just not in the same hitting class as the Brothers of Light.
That poor Legionary is missing both his arms and leg.
Yeah, they try to do things. So they'll get a little army of crossbow guys. They'll actually be able to shoot down them. That's a lot of guys to shoot. Oh, his armor light on Wolf and killed him. Alright, so I'm gonna play Wolf Among Sheep. Should be enough just melee stats. Enough stats here. But I got Brother of Light. So yeah, that's the thing that's really strong with Healing Spirits in my level 1. If you've seen them little things go in there, they just heal them back up and do some damage. So I'm gonna play Rock Rivals because I'm ahead. So this downside here isn't gonna be that big of a deal. Yeah, like just look at all the tankiness there that the crossbow dudes just can't deal with. I'll play this and split it. So like units that are expensive that give me multiple copies of are strong because of this. I'll play Dragon Ball there is pretty good. So I got this Book of the Dead, you can see what this does. So I play it, I get one of every effect. So I can make 2 of my 4 mana cost spells cost 1 less, which I think are like Dragon Ball, so that's pretty good. Basically I get a 1 mana.
Blue is victorious!
I'll have to explain that later. Or what Book of the Dead does. Good old Incubus. Alright, so now we get a relic. So we've got Through the Nether. Through the Nether is actually good with this because I'm pretty heavy minion based. Okay, I did have Lightning Bolt, so I would have gotten 2 disc. So that thing to know with Book of the Dead, my one option to pick the cost reduction is I've actually got 2 spells to reduce the cost of. So Through the Nether, I've got a lot of minions that cost a little bit, but playing 3 minions in a row and then teleporting them and giving them rage might actually be pretty good. Now it's a party. Summon a random Stoutheart minion card by your master whenever you trigger Reveille. So that's really powerful, but I can trigger Reveille with Caber Tosser plus Frost Feathers, but I don't have enough Style Heart stuff to make now it's a party gat great. It would definitely incentivize me to pick it up, but the 2x2, your 2 mana cards cast additional time with random targets and location on your area. So basically, when I summon crossbow dudes, I get another crossbow dude unit played in a random spot in my area. So if I had more 2-cost cards, 2x2 is really fun to get early because you can build around it. I'm just gonna go through the Nether. That should be pretty good. So we got big dudes. That's kind of what I'm doing. Big dudes with buffs in the mountains. So like if I would have picked that Stoutheart thing, I got another thing that has Reveille, but I don't think it trigger it. Frostfeather Fryby, can't really trigger it, but it's a nice spell. Jungle Growth, I don't have the synergies for this. Tranquil Shaiharu is a solid unit. Basically, he's a little bit stronger than a warrior, but not much. He's only got a little bit more health and a little bit more damage. But attacks a little bit slower. Like the warrior's DPS is 35, and this is 37.5. But the thing that's nice about him, if he doesn't die and finishes a combat for you, he'll heal himself all the way to full, so he can have a lot more health that way. And yeah, he's alright. And then we've got big dudes. So I'm gonna go with big dudes. The red golem isn't as good, but basically it summons a blue golem, so you're actually paying 2 more mana for a blue golem. Was a blue golem cost 7, but the blue golem was not a bad unit into what it does. It's a good tanky unit that's got really high damage, so it's also good at other killing other things because it does 200 damage every time it punches, and it does a DPS of 100. And DPS of 100 is really high. But this is if you have 50% or less health or half health. You summon a red golem instead. The red golem's got 1400 health and 350 damage, and DPS. So it's like almost like 2 blue. It's just slightly weaker than if you were to take 2 blue golems, mush them together into 1 big golem, and yeah. The red golem's almost 2 blue golems together, except it's just 200 health short and 30 DPS short. But it's really powerful if you can get red golem. Because red golem's worth more than 9 mana. Like these stats here are. They're probably worth 11-ish mana, 11 to 12 mana almost. You gotta figure like a mythic unit like Mardred, which is he's got a special effect. This is kind of something, but he's got 1200 health and does a DPS of 80, and he's considered like a big health tank unit that's good against other like tank units. So you gotta kind of figure that. That's what this is, but this is on steroids with these stats. So he's kind of worth about like 12 mana or something. But he couldn't be a 10 mana card and be these stats. It might be, but it would probably have to have less health or something. That's why they made it a 9 mana card. That kind of got a interesting stipulation. I probably will be sad and just play it as a blue golem a lot of the time. But that's okay. And then John, Keeper of Jadespark. So this is kind of like compare his stats to this 10 mana card here. Well, this 10 mana card's got 1200 health, kind of like Mardred. That's kind of like they like 1200 for some reason. So whenever I play Drone, I get a 1-use Sunder, and Sunder is a 0 mana spell that does 75 damage. So basically a little rock comes up and then goes down, and it does 75 damage twice, or it can do 150 damage. So this Sunder is probably worth about 2 or 3 mana, as just like the spell that costs 0 that it gives you. And then Drone's attack, basically he casts a bunch of Sunders where he lifts up a bunch of rocks and then slams down a bunch of rocks and kind of like a column in front of him. Basically he's a tank. He's kind of like similar to that dragon where he's got a lot of health and does big AoE damage, and does damage in AoE and has solid damage for an AoE attack, but he's not good against things that are individually powerful because he only has a DPS of 30 and he doesn't do fast damage. Like he attacks every 5 seconds, but his attack is 75. So he's got a radius of 1, so it's 1 tile, and then it attacks in range of 4 in that whole tile. So he's got nice AoE that does enough damage that will murder a lot of medium health stuff. Yeah, that's John. He's kind of solid. So like if you get rid of this play effect he's kind of worth like 9, 8 mana based on his stats and how his attack works and stuff. Hey, he looks kind of cool. So I'm gonna go with big dudes. Alright, so we've got the Magnificent. So my deck's kind of similar to Magnificent, as I've got a bunch of expensive cards, and basically every time he levels up he randomizes the cost. So ideally I try to get these cheaper, and I'm more likely to. So like my 10 cost card can only cost 10 or get cheaper. So that's kind of the idea. To where like my crossbow dudes, they can get cheaper, but like this 0 cost Book of the Dead, it can only stay at 0 or get more expensive. So that's kind of like the idea with the expensive units. He's kind of got like a big guy deck. But I don't think he'll be too much of a problem because I've got a bunch of buffs and stuff to deal with big dudes. I think he'll be alright. So this unit here, whenever it dies, one of these will it will be a little random thing that flies out and kills one of them. I don't know if it was the one that got like entropy or not, but basically I wanted to play more than just one unit, so they actually, I think it's super sad by that. Yeah, so it was the one that got werewolf, which was unfortunate, but that's how it goes. His brother's a lighter, real strong. So whip guy is kind of a problem, so I can play Dragon Ball, hopefully deal this. I want to spawn a Dragon Ball behind it so it doesn't get whipped. Oh, Dragon Ball's still gonna get ripped anyway. So, you know, that's an 8 mana card, and I almost killed it with 6 mana, so that's something I got lucky. I actually got lucky with the crossbow dudes and they cost less, but that's pretty unlikely. You know, you're rolling a number between 1 and 10, so you're pretty unlikely. The Chain Lightning, even though it costs 7, it's worth 7 here, because that's a 7 mana card and it deals with it. Alright, so Book of the Dead only costs 1 more. I don't know if I might play it to, shall do this. So unfortunately my 10 mana card didn't get reduced. So what Book of the Dead does is I can give myself a little bit of future cost reductions. I can drain 1 health from the closest enemy and get it. I'm never going to get Unholy Bargain because that's like a Merlin special thing. I give something Spirit or I can summon some skeletons. So for 0 mana I'm just going to summon some skeletons there and do things. I was mostly just explaining what I did. Okay. So yeah, that's what Through the Nether does. It does that. So I don't know if I need to tell you why that's good, but yeah, it's good. Nice thing is he's melee if no he's fine, so kill him is actually just gonna poop all over. Yeah, get out here, whip dude. I'm gonna play poop roll. And I'll get this, so you know, rock rivals. I'll play John, because he's actually cheaper now. Alright, so this is where the thing goes. Don't wait for all these to bunch up. And then that 0 mana rock, oh yeah, like that just... That was a 7 mana, well normally 7 mana spell to play here. It probably was cheaper. Yeah, Rock Rivals wasn't that bad. I think the downside got dealt with, and I've still got a little bit of gold. So see, since he's mythic there, whenever that guy dies, normally he just destroys a unit, but he actually lost 50% of his health instead. So he didn't get destroyed. So that's kind of what I think of too. There's a red golem there, that's really scary, but my opponent's, you know, getting out.
We have a winner!
It was so sudden. That Through the Nether is gonna just like scare everyone every time it happens because it's so sudden and I'm not keeping track of it. Alright, so we got our relics, we got legendary find, so I can replace a random card in my deck with a legendary card with the same cost, reduce its cost by 1. I mean, legendary cards aren't necessarily always better. We got John that's legendary. It's like this, what this means is a little like fancy thing either. You know, John's alright, but you know, I got red golem here, which is a supreme, which is the second highest rarity, which can just poop over this legendary here. Or these guys that are common. This is a common card, but this is a powerful card that's played quite a bit as Wolf Among Sheep. Rock Rivals is a powerful card. You don't see this one as much because sometimes the downside, especially in like in 2v2s, can be actually a really big downside. And you know, investing this, you know, basically spending 6 mana to have a symmetrical effect essentially the first time this is played is bad. Because the living statues can be a really big problem. And then dig for treasure. I'm gonna dig for treasure because I like treasure. Okay, so this is kind of one I haven't seen before. We got Cursed Fireball. A scrap mine. So basically I drop 2 mines that explode and deal 100 damage. So basically for 0 mana I can drop 2 mines somewhere. I'm pretty sure this is a defensive spell. No, it's not. Basically 2 mines on the ground, and whenever minions run over it or walk over it because they're retarded and don't do anything about it, it's got 50 health in case like spells or something happen that can be blown up. But basically you drop 2 of these, they blow up and knock the enemies back, and so there's 2 of them. It does or damage. They're a building. They're a minion. They should be a building. I don't know. This text is weird. If you get 2 of them, they have 50 health, but it's got a duration, but it says minion. So maybe their health doesn't decay, even though it should. Maybe after 30 seconds they just blow up. That's kind of weird. But yeah, I'll take the scrap mines because I don't have problems with big guys, so I don't need cursed fireball. So I'm just gonna take scrap mine. It's a good like way to blow up cheap, you know, small guns. So I've got big dudes here in the mountains. So these don't specifically have any synergy. Like Mountain Shaper, just a solid card, and Fugis is a really powerful unit. You haven't seen him before. He spins a lot. Spins, does a lot of damage. For 7 mana, his 600 health isn't the highest. It's still solid, but you know, 7 mana, you've got things like definitely like 800 health is something you see a lot. But he does such absurdly high AoE damage. He's dealing, you know, once he starts to get dizzy though, that's what the problem is. But he's also got a really like funky smile there. But yeah, he's a solid unit, and then we've actually got into mountains twice, so we can get Woodsman, who's a solid. He can actually get a buff, so that's something to count for with his Reveille. You know, applies to those enemies. He's got good stats for what he costs. And then we got Scott, who is apparently for whatever reason in adventure mode invisible, but Scott is here. If you want to see what Scott actually looks like, I can just show real quick. Not that. Scotty. There, it's just easier if I just do. There's Scott. Oh, he's invisible here too. Maybe it's some bug. I guess there's probably a bug with Scott where he's invisible apparently. Oh, I always do that. Don't mean to. But Scott, basically, he's got 600 health too, but he does really, really high DPS, and he has a fast attack speed, so he can just, you know, he murders things. He attacks fast enough for swarms kind of get massacred, because his attacks, his 65 will kill pretty much any swarm unit. And then he's got really high DPS. He's got kind of this downside of once he hits, you know, 300 health, because he's got, or you know, 50% health because he might get spirit or something. He'll cry and he'll taunt everything, so everything basically he'll start crying, and then everything just auto aggros on him because they don't want to hear it. And yeah, that's kind of like a downside. It's kind of like an interesting mechanic. It's why he has such absurdly powerful attack. Scott's a fun card. I think I'll go in the mountains because I don't really have a big comeback spell like Mountain Shaper. Like Mountain Shaper will probably sit in my hand. I might only play it once a game, but that one time I play it will probably save me. And Fugis is strong. Want to take that? So we got 5 out of 8. We're Elemental Storm. So Elemental Storm's kind of scary against me because I've got Chain Lightning, so Chain Lightning will do pretty well. But this Lightning Strike's actually strong against what I'm doing because I'm going with a big deck. You know, that guy got expensive minions. I'm not going with cheap minions. I've got a couple of them, but that's just because it's what I started with. So basically every 30 seconds, a Lightning Bolt goes and one of my guys will become destroyed unless it's John where's Mythic where he loses half his health. But yeah, I've actually got a couple expensive units that are they summon multiple units, like Wolf Among Sheep, and Zealots aren't the worst thing, but yeah. This master should be kind of annoying for me to deal with.
Masters, prepare to duel! Let's duel!
This is like what scrap mines look like, is these 2 little guys here. It's defensive spell even though it doesn't say it is, but you know, that's what it is. Fortunately, I think I'm gonna start with Rock Rivals. That was kind of dumb on me because of the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, that was really bad. Huh, the mines went forward because they're a minion. That's so weird. So summoning the skeletons here is nice. It gives me a little bit of extra neat things there. So this Brother of Light's actually going to do a lot of damage to this tower. Unfortunately, it's tough. Die, but Lightning Bolt hit the skeleton. I'll put it on here. So that's kind of the funny thing with the low cooldown, attack cooldown is that sometimes stun isn't as good because it resets the attack initial cooldown is so slow to where the attack delay is for the gun. struck by lightning and had a bad day. I mean, they're just gonna die immediately. They don't have long. Oh, I forgot it. Oh, lightning trophy counts as a buff. That's why. There's that elemental storm. So I can play Dragon Ball here. And it kind of deals with that mostly. Oh, lightning went off and didn't hit anything. So that's what Healing Monkey does. He took some damage there but didn't die, so now he's doing better. I can play Fugus here. Fugus is over that monkey. But just, yeah, just like he does such high damage. And he keeps going, spin, and then eventually gets dizzy and just sits there and is vulnerable for a little bit. I want to play these there so they can take the Shen and not forget about that every time that happens. Well, lightning hit one of the legionaries, so that's nice. Play Zealous. They're gonna hit level 10 or level 3, and it's gonna be kind of sad. I need to get back to Chain Lightning or Dragon Ball. Once I get it, I need to hold on. There's actually a lot of beefiness here, so that might be kind of a big problem for my opponent. I'll play Gamer Tosser, and that goes off. There's a lot of healing there now. Yeah. R.I.P. Gamer Tosser. He never threw his log. I think it's the first time I've ever seen him die where his log didn't get thrown. Okay. So that's kind of the thing that's insane with Keyleth is, you know, I had that sunburn there and all of the little holy fires were actually healing everything that was so tanky, it was just keeping it alive. And yeah, so that's disgusting. Alright, so gotta heal a little bit. So Head Start, I like Head Start because my level 1 is really strong, that Inner Fire. Wild cards you have more than one copy of your deck to have their mana cost reduced by 1. So I have no duplicates, so that's just bad. Bonus round is okay, but I like my first level perk enough to where I'm going to take Head Start. So we got Weenies in the mountains. Glenn's Brew is really strong with Fugus Falcon Fighter, so I think I'm just going to take that out based off that combo right there. Weenies, I mean, the cycle's cheap, but I'm going expensive, dude, and having more cards in my deck makes my level 3 just a tiny bit better, so that's nice. And Rage, yeah, it's good. Like Sunburn's pretty good with Inner Fire, but and Power Soul Eater or Soul Stealer. Could be Soul Eater. It's not kind of cool art. But it's pretty easy for me to have Rage, so it gets a little bit of a minor benefit, but I'm gonna go with in the mountains. Alright, so we got a scouting party. You've been discovered by a party of Burning Fist Scout. You can't let them report your location. You'll never stop us. We are true followers of the light. Adreno has showed us the path. So we're at 6 of 8, so basically these are like her scouts. We've been spotted by them. So basically, alright, so it's a Spirit Thrower. This is kind of unique here. We haven't seen Spirit Throwers before. So I don't know, like as the Master, I don't know if he gets his spears back or not after he throws his spear. But he's a Spirit Thrower, and basically he's got Jungle Survival. Reload Spear on all Spirit Throwers whenever a Spirit Thrower kills a minion. So he probably gets it back under Jungle Survival. So he's probably got all the Spirit Thrower units. So this is kind of like a weird thing. I don't think it's really that strong. But Scouting Party, summon 6 Spirit Throwers, and then bringing the backup 12 Spirit Throwers. So that's kind of scary. But Spirit Throwers are like pretty mediocre, so it's like meh. More Empyrean units. Just Empyrean infantry. Shouldn't be that bad.
It's Minion Master!
Again, you got the size difference. You look at the size of a Brother of Light versus like, you know, your average Spirit Thrower. Other Spirit Throwers. Caber Tosser is alright. He's just gonna bop them all. He'll throw his spears, but he'll throw his big spear. His spear was slightly bigger than theirs. So this is where the mines is kind of nice. Yeah, they just blow up and do area damage. They're also very bloody. Oh yeah, turns out I got a kind of like through the nether, healing spirits, just like all kinds of buffs and just it's pretty gross. Got kind of a funny animation when he gets his spirit back. That's that Holy Fire, super strong there. Like, they're just having such a hard time trying to kill this stuff. Like I think Glenn's Root counts as a buff? No, it doesn't. Go ahead and trigger Holy Fire. I kind of just did that for science. I'll play a 2 Brothers of Light. And that goes off. Yeah. Keela's Blessing. So yeah. That happens, and turns out that's pretty good. They're just so, the guys are just so buff that, yeah. I didn't even really need to try there. I just got so many special effects that stacked buffs that it was just kind of ridiculous. R.I.P. Spirit Thrower, you tried. But you did not throw your spears hard enough. Alright, so we got Cola Ranks. Now, I could consider this because I've got so many units in, excuse me, spells in my deck, but I like having spells because of the strength in numbers. Rest, I mean, just 500 more health is okay. Legendary card, replace a random card in your deck with a legendary card that costs. We'll do that. So I can replace one of these. Okay, so I'll replace Red Golem. So I'll get a random 9-cost legendary that's red. Is there 9? What are the 9-cost legendaries? Oh, Colossus and oops, there's some other stuff. I think Colossus might be the only one. Oh, nope, that's not what I want to do. Wait, what? Does it change every time? I learned something new. There's definitely a red golem there. Or was it always Mountain Shaper? I don't know. That's weird though. I would have liked to replace Red Golem because Red Golem isn't a good card because I'm probably never going to be, if I'm losing enough to where I get the half health, I'm probably losing bad enough to where I'm going to die. That sucks. I really wanted to replace Red Golem. I guess we'll go with Caber Tosser maybe. Why did that happen? It does change. Huh. I learned something new. So if you ever get 3 cards here you don't like, normally you get 3 cards and they should always be the same, but... Okay, so we got Red Golem again. That's the one I wanted to replace. So this is kind of fun. So if you know anything about Minion Masters, this guy is Brutus, or looks like Brutus. So we got Beast of the Fortress. I think he's actually Terror Brutus, because Terror Brutus is a little bit more gray than normal Brutus. Got some scars on him. So this guy has got kind of an interesting thing. So you notice might before on things was a little bit different. Like on my previous opponent, I think they got 35% increased mana generation. This guy gets 105 increased % mana generation. That's a problem. So he's got, so for every 1 mana I have, he gets double mana. And his auto attack is he does 50 damage and heals himself for 50. So his auto attacks is one of the weaker ones, but it makes him a little bit harder to kill. He's got a lot of health. But he's kind of got this interesting thing where he levels up and it's overextension. He gets stunned for 10 seconds and can't play cards. So every time he levels up, it's actually a downside for him. But he's got this initial, double mana. So we got Beast of the Forest. What this creature lacks up in for intelligence makes up in for in brute strength. I mean, there's definitely things that hit harder than him, but he's hard to kill. He's gonna be healing a lot.
Showtime!
So yeah, now we got Colossus that we're gonna replace by the Red Golem, and Colossus is a lot better. I'm gonna play this back there. I'm pretty sure that's not a Legionary Cleaver. Oh, we've got health and we heal for 1,000 every game, so we can, afford to take a little bit of damage. So eventually I might be able to show where Glenn's Boo is really good eventually. So see there, he leveled up and he's just very harder. Not gonna do anything for a little bit. Now he should play a bunch of cards. That card, it was targeted poorly, but it's usually pretty good against, or like, just big guys and stuff. So Fugus is currently dizzy, so I'm going to wait a second for him to take some damage, and I'll leave him up. And yeah, he did a lot of extra damage. Colossus is going to do some work. Fortunately, the flying units are gonna shred him, but yeah, my opponent's got double mana generation, so what can I do? Hasn't really been that big a problem. Play a landmine because they're gonna blow up right away. Okay. I haven't used landmines often much, so I was really kind of trying to figure out how it works. See, I got insane synergies, like my guys are so absurdly strong. They got, they all get spirits, they have a lot of health, more extra health, big range and stuff. Turns out that's pretty good. Don't play that there, they're gonna just start doing it. He probably would have died if I didn't do that. There goes Lewis. Sometimes that beast in the forest can be kind of scary, but I got certain synergies this game, so it's kind of just a walk in the park for Keyleth here. Well, Mysterious Eggs is one I don't think has popped up before, but this is kind of fun. A random egg spawns somewhere, and then basically whenever something runs over it, you spawn, like whether it's a friendly minion or an enemy minion. Something goes over, you summon even a dragon whelp, 3 flightless dragons, or a crawler. So basically, three flightless dragons is a 3 mana unit, or a 4 mana unit. Normal dragon whelp is 3 mana, and then a prowler is 5 mana. So there's kind of some RNG there, but for the most part, you're just getting free minions at no cost to you. So it turns out that's pretty good. To the defenses, I've taken this one before. It saved my butt a couple times. You take damage, you summon warriors to help keep you alive. Wild cards you have more one, so I don't have any duplicates, so wild card bad. I'm gonna take Mysterious Eggs because it can be proactively good. So we've got Herald of the Burning Fist, so we've got a banner man with a banner man here, but he's for the Burning Fist. Alright. Your recent exploits have not gone unnoticed. Adrena herself has sent one of her heralds to stop you. We will convert or destroy the wretched heathens of the jungle. You cannot stop us. Bow before the glorious light or die. So what does Herald of the Burning Fist got? So, interestingly, so see here his might is only 30% here, instead of like the 105% mana generation like it was for the last Beast of the Forest. But basically, his auto attacks weak, he just kicks stuff and doesn't do a lot of damage. So his level 1 is Minion components. Herald of the Burning Fist's minions gain turncoat, which all cost 1 less mana. That just seems bad. So basically all of his minions are 1 cheaper but have turncoat, so Minion Malice. Herald of the Burning Fist's minions gain range and all cost 1 less mana. Huh. Herald of the Burning Fist's minions all gain haste and cost 1 less mana. That's really interesting. It'd be interesting to see what he's like at level 3, or how many minions he can just shit out even though they have turncoat. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, since he's Banner Man, he gets shield 1 time in the game, so the first time he gets hit by anything, he'll block the damage.
Showtime!
That is so minor. Looks like crossbow dudes are okay here. I'll play the mines here, just shouldn't kill them guys. Nice. Yeah, there they go. Tosser. So yeah, now his warrior turncoat, so he's only paying 50%. The thing about turncoat, if it's on units that die in 1 hit anyways, it's not really a downside. That is like a drop the trigger difference. But he's got warriors and they'll turn. So this is kind of what this does. I play this here, the egg hatches, and I got extra minions there. So you can see here, he's trying to kick this door, but he just doesn't do it. Like his cost reduction there is letting him pile up some stuff. I'm kind of bored just letting what's going on. Oh my god. Now everything's mine because it turned good.
We have a winner!
So unfortunately for Bannerman, his level 1 was really bad. yeah, wasn't much of a competition. It would have been really interesting to see what it was like when he hit level 3, because he would have a bunch of free mana minion guards, and he's AI, so you might be able to cycle through him super fast. So that's kind of interesting. All right, you have defeated the Burning Fist Herald. As the Herald is dying, a shadow leaves his body, and sanity seems to return to him. He manages to utter a few words before his passing. She is not what she appears to be. The ritual, it will destroy us all. So basically, he was like possessed or something. So yeah, there was our disgusting synergy deck, and we never got to see strength in numbers, which was unfortunate. But I would have summoned, a lot of guys with that. So yeah, that's the first adventure down. Nothing special here. The second one, there's this ominous fog, which is kind of fun, and the last one's it's really more entertaining to watch because there's just units always fighting. So yeah, that's the chapter 1 in saving Jadespark Jungle. So I will end this episode here because I'm gonna do an episode for each of these chapters. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, bye bye.